You are listening to the Mark Guzman Podcast Experience.
Back. Yeah. So let's talk about your current wines. Now, are these organic wines?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So when I first started, I wanted organic and I wanted biodynamic, but I had no relationships. It's one of those things again where when I got in, I didn't really have any connections to getting fruit. I had to kind of source my own. And I was also part of the learning curve is defining what sustainable is and what organic is, where biodynamics fall in. And going through that, I had to find fruit sources. So I tried to find the best fruit sources I could under what availability I could find. And I also didn't realize that one of the things that sustainable is there's arguments back and forth, but it's about using sustainable. There are exceptions to synthetic, like herbicides. And I had a friend tell me, I said to her one time, I said, well, I'm going in the direction of getting organics, but it's really hard to find it. It's I'm still learning and meeting people and trying to network. And so I do get a little bit that's not organic. And she said, you shouldn't make those compromises unless you believe in something that's sustainable. And you'll talk to growers who practice sustainability farming, and they look at it as a whole system of keeping people employed and what it costs and the market. So when you sell grapes, when you sell fruit, this year I did some vineyard management. I wanted to, and that's kind of the direction I want to go in as well, is doing some farming or having some influence in the farming, not just to be able to have that as a label, but to be able to bring that more to the conversation when I'm working with other growers. I can't do everything, but if I can do a little bit of everything, I can have a sense of what it is to have that, to go into a grower and say, well, why do you add sulfur in the vineyard? You're trying to, look up, like rot and mildew. You're trying to mitigate those issues. And how often do you do it? It's not even just a matter of that you do it, and it can be organic. So getting back to the sustainable, I've talked to growers who would say, well, I need to do it because of this. And it's a philosophical difference. And there are chemicals that we don't know, really what their long-term negative effects are. And so I've come more and more to realize or to believe that I just want to stay away from that stuff. I don't want to judge people. Rather, I want to kind of take my own path. And I'm proud to say that the white wine that I brought is organic. The red wine is a Barbera, and that grower, though, is a wonderful human being. I really, really enjoy him. He's a gentleman. But he has his process, and I can't tell him not to. I would love to work with this fruit again, and I won't, because it's sustainable and it's not organic. So yeah, everything that I source as of last year was organic, and going forward, I will only accept organic. And whether or not that means I can't make enough wine to support the needs, then I just have to figure out something else. Because once you make those compromises, then you
got to stick to it.
Yeah, and again, it was somebody helping me. And that's one of the, like you say about mentors, that was a person who opened a door to a room to me and said, really? I mean, is that what you're okay with? You have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And I answered that. Am I proud of it? I think it's a lovely wine. It's a beautiful wine, but I'm upfront about it. And if you ask me what I do and how I did it and what's in there, I will tell you what's in there.
Okay, perfect. So do we go white to red to white? What's your preference?
I would go, though this white does have some skin contact and was made a little bit like red wines are made, in that most whites, when they're made, the producer will crush everything or press everything and get all the juice out and get it off the skins as soon as possible, just to get those kind of tannic qualities out.
Okay.
I would say let's go with the white first.
Okay, we'll do that.
Great.
Thank you for listening to this podcast short. For more podcast content, be sure to subscribe to all of our podcast channels on YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Libsyn, Castbox, Podbean, and literally anywhere else you listen to podcasts.